Welcome to Shail'S Kitchen, home of good food and good memories. Here's what's cooking in Shail'S Kitchen today. Pumpkin coconut pie. Here are some of the main things we'll be using for our pumpkin coconut pie. I have a refrigerated pie crust, some pumpkin, condensed milk, coconut milk, vanilla extract. I've selected spices of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, and some coconut flakes and eggs. I'll be listing all the ingredients and the quantities for you guys in the description box below. The first thing we're going to do is to blind bake our pie crust, and that just means we're going to pre-bake it a few minutes so that it maintains a nice crispy texture. I have preheated my oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and here I have this nice pie dish. It's a 9-inch pie dish and it's nice and deep, so it's going to hold all the filling really well. A lot of people who make their own pie dough don't usually grease their pie dish before they put the crust in, but since I'm using a store-bought pie dough, I thought it might be a good idea to just lightly grease it with some butter. Or you can also use some cooking spray and just give it a light spray before you actually put the crust into the dish. Here I have my pastry dough out of the packaging, so the next thing I'm going to do is to just very gently unroll my pastry until it's wide open. Now the pastry dough is all rolled out and we're ready to put it in the dish. Just drape your pastry dough, get it into the dish, and then just go around very gently with your hands and get it up against the sides of the pie dish. The next thing I'm going to do is just to flute the edges of my pie crust, and I just use this very simple technique. I put my forefinger in between my other fingers of the opposite hand and just go around and make a nice flute around the edges of your pie crust. There you go. I put the pie crust in the freezer for a few minutes just so that it firms up. Now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper and I'm just going to put it into the pie crust like this. I don't have any dried beans or pie weights, so what I've used is some rice to weight the parchment paper down. So I've filled the pie shell with the rice, and that's going to keep a nice even form while it's pre-baking. Now I'm going to put this into the oven. It is already preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to place it on the middle rack and then bake it for about 15 minutes or so. It's been 15 minutes and I just took the pie crust out of the oven, and I just want to show you what it looks like around the edges, nice and golden brown. Now our pie crust has pre-baked, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the edges of the parchment paper and remove the rice from the shell. Look at this, how beautiful it looks. I'm going to leave it on a rack and let it cool completely before I put in the filling. So while our pie crust is cooling, we're going to make our filling. And the first thing I like to do is to just beat my eggs up, because I like to break up the egg yolks and get it totally incorporated into the egg whites before I add the other ingredients. So this is kind of like the consistency that you're looking for. I've added all our other ingredients to the eggs. I have the coconut milk, the condensed milk, the vanilla extract, the spices, and the coconut into this bowl, and I'm just going to mix everything together until it's well blended. Now you can see everything's well blended, and boy, as I was stirring this up, I could smell those lovely spices. Before I fill my crust, I've added half a cup of the shredded coconut to the bottom, the very bottom of the crust. A couple other things that I want to mention is that I put my pie plate on a nice sturdy baking sheet, And I've also made like a little tent around the rim of the crust because it's already got a nice light golden brown color and I don't want it to get too dark. So that's going to protect the edge of the crust from over baking. So now I'm going to fill our crust. Our pie crust is filled and now it's into the oven on the middle rack at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 to 40 minutes and then I'll check it. So it's been an hour baking so far and it's still a little jiggly in the middle. What I've done is I've sprinkled some more coconut over the top and I've removed the tent foil and now I'm going to bake it for another 15 to 20 minutes. 1 hour and 20 minutes and I think we're done. And I can hear a little sizzling there. Now that your pie is completely baked, remember to let it cool before serving. Now for a taste. This is a perfect pie, an American tradition with a Caribbean flair. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shail'S Kitchen, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Shail'S Kitchen, home of good food and good memories.